here's what's going on. Some people did this. Some people did this, guys. They did inverse norm of 0.10, which in other words, this is 0.10. They did inverse norm of that. If you did that, what did you get? Negative 1.28. Does everybody follow? Now, we want this one over here. The nice thing is, it's normal distribution, so it's symmetric, right? 10% here, 10% there. That means if this is negative 1.28, this should be positive 1.28. So you could do it that way, but if you do it that way, then you better remember that you got to switch that sign. Because owing $100 is a big difference than having $100, right? Those are totally different things. So you can do it that way, just make sure that you switch the sign. Otherwise, what you probably should have done was you said, well, if this is 10%, what percent is over here? 90%. In other words, 0.90. So you do inverse norm of 0.90, and you would get 1.28. You can do it either one of those ways, but like I said, if you're doing it, if you're just going to throw in whatever is the right side and put it on the left, then you got to remember to switch the signs, because it wants the area on the left. It doesn't know, right? You give it an area, it's going to assume it's the left side, because cumulative is the most common. If you have the fancy schmancy TI-84s, then you can tell it left or right, or center. We're mostly going to deal with left and right. But that, yeah, yes, your calculator is fancy schmancy. Whatever, you don't have to say it, you just have to hear it, it'll be fine. All right. Now the other thing is, they want you to find this z-score here. I can't put in inverse norm of 0.4175. Why? Because that would say this area is 41.75%. It would give me like a z-score right around here. Do you guys see what I'm saying? It would give me this z-score. That's not right. I want this z-score, not this one. So we want to find this area. So let me shade it. Shade it blue. So what do we know about we want the blue area. We know the orange area. What do I know about if I add them together? If I add these two areas together, what does that make? 0.5. 50%. So you guys understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this plus that gives me 50%, which means that 50% minus that should give me this part here. Everybody kind of following what I'm saying? Here, I'll tell you what I mean. We'll make this x. X plus 0.4175 equals 0.5. So if I subtract 0.415 from both sides, x equals 0.5 minus 0.4175, which is
0.0825.
Can you guys find that and then find the z-score? Find that z-score. Do it. This is going to be one of your homework problems, I believe, so you should get some practice doing it. Is it 0825? Okay, what'd you guys get? Negative. Probably negative something. What was that? Negative 1.39. Good? Any questions about this? Questions? Okay. So now we're just going to add one little twist to it. If you have a z value, and you want to know, oops, And you want to know the x that goes with it.
I just figured you will.
I know, right?
It's on
I
hack.
can plug it in. So let me just grab the notes here. All right. If you have, so first of all, to find a single x value, given an area above or below it, first draw a picture and find the area of the value you want. The left area, sorry, the left area. Because you want the area on the left. Not just the area, but the left area. So, do you guys know what I mean by I say left area? I mean the area on the left side that of the z-score you want. Then use inverse norm, parentheses, area on the left, to find the z-score that goes with that area. The last step is you take that z-score, you convert the z-score to an x value. How do you do that? Yeah, you kind of backtrack what you did before. So, how do we find a z-score? You take your, well, what is a z-score? A z-score presents,
Number of standard deviations above or below the mean.
yeah, the number of standard deviations, a value is above or below the mean. So if you start from the mean, and you count that many standard deviations, you should get to the x value. Do you understand what I'm saying? If my z-score was 2, and I'm at the mean, I just add 2 standard deviations, and I get to the z-score, the x value I want. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? If my z-score is negative 1.5, I'd start at the mean, and I'd subtract 1.5 standard deviations, and then I'd get to that x value. So it's just as simple as that. Why is this not going? There we go. All right. And that's what this says. You start with your mean, and then you add that many standard deviations. Whatever your z-score, that's how many standard deviations you add. So you multiply your z-score by your standard deviation to find that. It also comes from this formula. How do I find a z-score? X minus your mean divided by your standard deviation, right? How do I solve for x? Multiply both sides by sigma to get rid of this guy. So then I'd have z sigma equals x minus mu. And then I can just add mu to both sides. And then I get mu plus your z-score times your sigma equals your x value. It's just a rewriting of that same thing. Okay, so your x value is whatever your mean is, and then you add that many standard deviations. If it's negative, then you subtract that many standard deviations. Okay. This is what I said to you guys earlier. Right, find the area to the left, and then find the z's, right, and then convert x value to a, convert your z-score to an x value. All right, here's an example. We have time for an example. So this is the bottom of your page. Did you guys get this previous one right above it? J value equals mean plus
z times standard deviation.
yep, z times standard deviation. It's this right here. That goes in your notes. Data value, your x equals the mean plus z times standard deviation.
What was number 3? Convert the z-score to...
An x value. Okay, so here's our Police Academy one. Rob, go ahead, read.
Police Academy candidates must score in the top 10% on a general abilities test. The test has a mean of 200 and a standard deviation of 20. Find the new lowest possible score to qualify. Assume the test scores are normally distributed. 1, find the area to the left of the score you want. Then find the z-score we're looking for using inverse norm. 2, then find the x value that goes with that z-score.
Great. So you have to score in the top 10%. So here's the top 10%. I define this z-score. So I'm going to say, okay, if that's 10%, then this is 90%. Everybody with me on that part? So I'm going to do inverse norm of 0.90, and I'll get 1.28. 1.28. Whoops. 28. Then I need to find the x value that goes with that. What's the x value? Well, the x value would be my mean plus my z-score times my standard deviation. So it's going to be my mean, 200, plus my z-score, 1.28, times my standard deviation. What's my standard deviation? 20. There we go, 20. So then I'm going to get 200 plus 25.6. So you need to score 225.6 in order to get into this police academy. Everybody feeling good? Great. So why don't you guys do your one? You have a quick one right on the next lab, problem 5. Go ahead and try that one. Or if you guys want, do you guys want to do it the first thing when we get back next class? Yes? Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop now. I'll let you guys out.